This conference will now be recorded.
We started a discussion on security yesterday, and we understand what is the purpose of security or why we need to implement a security. And we understand that there are two types of securities there. One is role based security, and the second one is row level security. And role based security, I said that we are going to call that as a static security. And I explained how to create a role, how to apply a condition, how to verify at a desktop. I explained those are the things that we can do at a Power BI desktop level. Then after, like once we deploy, how to add the users at a Power BI service, at a Power BI service, how to add the users, and how to test it from Power BI service also. Not only testing at Power BI desktop, I explained. This is all happened yesterday. Now, today, we are going to observe how to implement a row level security, why we are calling that as a dynamic, what is the advantage that it is having over static, we are going to observe. After explaining that one, I will give one assignment. I will make you people understand regarding the assignment, and I will give one task. You can explore on that. That will help you to understand this one in a better way also. But whatever I cover, that is more than sufficient for you people to learn and understand, and for interview. But one of the use case of this one example I will give for you people. So that is what we are going to cover today. So first of all, why we need to go for a row level security, in as we already have a role based security. Why we need to implement a row level? For that, the answer is, in a role based security, we are creating a roles like Canada, like India, like US. Like this, you are creating a n number of roles. These all are manual roles. You are creating manually by selecting a create role, by giving a condition. You are creating a lot of roles. In a dev environment, you will have a less number of roles. Once you move to production, like you may have a more number of roles, or more number of users, or more number of permutations and a combinations. So if it is individual role, okay, let's assume like 190 or 180, how many countries that you are going to create that. But if there is a combination, I want Canada plus US plus UK. I want Canada plus US. I want Canada plus India. I want India plus UK. Like that, you have n number of permutations and combinations will be there. And it is not only specific to country. It can be city. It can be brand. It can be anything. It can be anything. What do you mean by it can be anything? Is, let's assume that a different example I will give to understand this one a better way. You have one shopping mall. It has shopping mall. It has 5 floors. It has, each floor has, let's assume that around 30 shops are there. 30 shops are there. One shopping mall, 5 floors, each floor 30 shops. It can be the below 4 floors. It can be like any shop related to like a clothes or a jewelry or a fancy like anything. And fifth floor it can be food items also. We have on average each floor we are having a 30 shops. Overall 150 shops are there. 150 shops are there. Now like I can have any type of a data. Let's assume that I have a finance data. I'm a, like let's assume that we are a shopping mall owners or a management. I have a data related to lease information or a rent information related to each shop wise who is that point of person or owner, what is their contact number, email id, when they started till when they are going to continue as per a lease agreement of 1 year or 6 months or 2 years, and what is the per month rent, and how much they paid advance, and how much pending they have, and whose lease is going to complete nearly. So I have a lot of information is there for each and every shop, and like that I have a multiple shops information, and I created a report, and I'm able to see all that shop people information. Now what I want to do is, if I have the same report with the customer also, which means each shop level people also they want to, if they can see that report, for them also it would be helpful, right? Like a bank, I can see all the customer details, but when you log in you will have your own dashboard, like how many accounts are there, what is the available balance and xyz, what is like what are the different loans that you have, each loan what is the emi, everything you have. So like that, even if I wanted to provide my report to that customer also, then what I am going to do, I am going to implement a security at each shop level, that can be based on the shop ID, or that can be based on that vendor ID or a customer ID, something. So each and every shop has a separate customer, and based on them I implement a security. In that scenario, I can create a role, 150 roles I can create for each person, and I can share a report so that whenever a specific shopkeeper logs in, they can see their data. So why I explain this one is, security means not only country, but whenever you go for an interview, they will ask about a country only. They will say that I have a report and I have a customers in US and Canada, UK, and I want the UK people need to see UK data, India people need to see India data. How you are going to implement? That is what they are going to ask. So that is a immediate example. But the scope should not be limited to country. It can be like this, or it can be your bank. This can be anything. You just need to create a condition and create a role. Then after add the people. That is overall about a security. Now, as I mentioned, in a role-based security, you are in a role need to create a multiple roles. That is a manual work. If you not create any role for any combination, that is not going to work for you, and this is unnecessary work that we are doing. To make the things easier, we are going to use RLS in order to avoid the manual effort of creating all the roles and maintaining the roles and adding the users. We are just creating a row level security. Here what we are going to do is, we are going to create a one table. We are going to provide the category and the email id of employee, what they wanted to see. So yesterday we added some Sriram or someone, we said France and Canada. Like that, we need to provide a customer email ID, we need to provide. Then after what they want to see, we need to provide. Like that, for each and every customer, that mapping information you need to provide. So once you are done with this table, Once you are done with this table, then we are going to use one function called user name or user principal name. Anything works. User user principal name, that can be username or user principal. They have two functions are there. What this function is going to do is, this is going to give you the person who logged into Power BI. So we are going to create this table for all the users. This is point one. Then after we are going to create a one role. We are going to create only one role on this column with the help of this function. It can be username or user principal name, which is going to give you the person who logged into Power BI. That person email ID, we are going to get it. Once we get that email ID, we are going to filter this one. Then it is filtered for only that specific user. That specific user. And this is going to filter other tables. That is going to display the data at a report. So that is how we are going to implement a dynamic security. We are calling it as a dynamic security, which means that only one role we are going to create based on the data that you have, that automatically works for any user. Okay. So this we are going to implement now. Before we proceed further, again, so if you open your Facebook, like if you open a Facebook or if you open a net banking, or a Facebook, let's assume that net banking, you open some website called HDFC. If you log into your account, it is going to showcase your balance details. It is going to give your balance details. But if your bank manager logs in, if a bank manager logs in, he can see multiple customer details, not only a single customer, multiple customer. If you log in, you are going to see only your balance. But if your bank manager logs in, he can see multiple accounts related to details. How many FDs are open? I hope I can get that. How many personal loans are available in the bank? I hope I can get that. Personal loan, vehicle loan. How many overall? How many? How many FDs overall? What is the overall available balance of the customers? I hope the bank manager can see all the details when he log in. But when we log in, we can see only our details. If any new customer comes, if he has net banking enabled, he can see his details. But what about a branch manager, or how about a regional manager? How about an overall head? So they can see all the details. This is what the security that they implemented. Similarly, we are going to implement this kind of security. To do that, I already mentioned what steps that we need to take care. Let's implement that. So first of all, whatever the role that we created yesterday, I'm deleting that. Select it, delete it. Select it, delete it. Now I don't have any roles. I don't have any security in this file, and I'm closing. First of all, we require a table. So we require a table. I'm creating a table here. Just a second. I'm creating a table here by entering a manual data. Enter, enter. So now I need to provide Canada, then after France, then after Germany, Germany. So I just kept only those three. Okay. Mm. So now this is country name. This is email ID. Like this, we are going to provide. And now security. I just need a couple of people's email IDs. Mm, mm, okay. So so I'm taking a one email ID here. Mm, okay. So I'll take a different people's. Carry. So so Canada and Germany, I provide access to this user. Okay. So now another user. Yesterday we discussed one person. This guy, and I providing access to France and Germany. And next one, some A at the rate domain ID I am providing. Yeah, and another user called B I am providing. I am mentioning it as a user role. Technically, we used to call this table as a user role table. Okay, so I loaded one table which contains a user information. Let me go to Power Query once, and I'll convert this one as a dimensional model like financials. I'll convert this country as a new query, and then after I'll convert this into a table. Then after remove duplicates. Then after I will call this as dim country, country is that table. So user role, close and apply. So now let's go to relationship view and that dim country and user role and financials. Okay, so financials automatically a relationship got created between country and country. And now what you need to do is the user role table, we need to add it to that country to this country to country. Now, so what we are going to do? So what we are going to do is simply you just need to make like many to one, yeah, so many to one, so let's keep that one. So we need to make this as a reverse direction. So it is one to many this side, it many to one. We need to make many to many, and we need to make sure that user role filters country. Okay, so which means that I intentionally provided to Canada, intentionally provided to France, intentionally provided to Germany. Why? Because like a different same country may have a different people, they may have the access in reality. That was the reason Canada one user, Canada different user I kept. France, Germany also maintained like that. So when we maintained, we have a one country here, we have a multiple countries here. One to many by default it will come like this. But I wanted to have either a many to one from this side to this side, either many to many. But I want to filter from this side to this side. So whenever user logs in, whenever a user logs in here, it will be filtered based on the email ID. Then after that will be filtered here, that will be filtered here. So now, first of all, I loaded a table, I create a relation. Now what we need to do is go to modeling tab, go to manage roles, create a role. We just need to create a role on a user role table where you can create this one. Like I just want to switch to DAX editor because we are going to write a DAX function. User principal name, you can select it. Okay, so you just need to provide where, sorry, it's not C name, it is where email ID, email ID equals to user principal name, and click on OK, click on save. That's it. So user principal name is the function which is going to get the name of a person who logged in. So if you log in your Facebook, in the top it is going to give you your name. If you log into net banking, on the top it is going to give you your name. So they also have a function like this. It is going to get the person who logged into the system. Now I am filtering this user role table based on the email ID. So then after, what will happen is this table will get filtered whenever a user open a report based on his email ID. It will get filtered, and once this table is filtered, that table automatically filter this table. That one always automatically filter this one. Okay, so that is how dynamically filter that data. Now I created a role, I want to test it. View role as first we'll go to manage roles once. This is uh, so generally it is a read role we are going to provide. Just I mentioned a read, click on OK, click on close, view as read other user. So yesterday we just need to select role. In this scenario, dynamic security, we need to select other user, and you need to provide the name also. So I am providing a at the rate of wolpert.com. Whenever I click on OK, observe that when a user called A logs in, when a user called A logs in, Canada is coming. For a user called A, we provide access for Canada. Similarly, when a user called so this person called Sriram logs in, he is able to see France and Germany. Okay, because we provide access for a France and Germany. So without creating a multiple roles, with a single role, we are able to filter the data based on the logged user. Now it is working fine. So what I am going to do is I am going to save it, and then after I am going to publish it in my test DNA. I am going to browse this file, and test DNA, save, save, security desktop service, open, replace it. Now whenever we observe security here, security, you can observe that I have only one role now, and I am adding the user here. Click on save. Now I wanted to test it. Test role as In this scenario, like what we need to do is we need to select a person. We need to provide the name of a person. Click on apply. You can observe that France and Germany, he can see it. Similarly, if I select any other person, like mm, if I select any other person who is not who is not there as part of the table, it is going to say that this visual contains a restricted data. So you need to make sure that that user is there as part of your table. Then after you need to make sure that the user is added there, like but anyways, if you the user is there here, you can test it. And then after you need to add all the users at here also, like wherever the security role is there also you need to add. This is how you are going to implement a dynamic security. You just need to add the people here, whomever I added in the text like a table, you need to add them here also. So this is all about a dynamic security. We just need to take care about the table. Remaining all will work automatically. Now, if you have a question, boss, how we are going to maintain this table? So here in the backend, we are going to create a SQL script for that user role table. We are going to create an SQL script which is going to populate this data. This is option 1. As option 2, we can have an Excel sheet who is going to update regarding the access. That also possible. Anything is possible, like based on the need. Some scenarios, the user information and their access information is available in the system. At that time, you just need to create a one select a statement and create a view, and you can load that one. If you don't have information related to user in the system, you must maintain some Excel or some place. We need to enter the data manually. From there also we can load it. That is based on the need. Finally, what we require is we require a table which contains employee email ID along with a category. Then after we are going to load it, create a relation, create a role, then after test it, then after publish, then after add the users. These are the steps. In interview, in a Power BI interview, out of 10 interviews, if your interview went well means like definitely there are 7 times they are going to ask this question. Did you implemented RLS? Tell me about what explain about RLS. What are the different types of security? What is role based security? What is row level security? How to implement a role based security in Power BI desktop? How to implement a row level security in Power BI desktop? Explain the steps they are going to ask. Only these are the things that you need to take care. And as part of this class, I given a couple of examples to make you relate the things with a bank and shopping mall. But still, I am going to give one more assignment or one more learning path. Like generally in a Power BI, there is one more requirement to use to come. They will not ask for everywhere, but it is good to have, called page based security. Page based security, which is nothing but so far we filter the data of a table and we displayed that data in the report. But there may be a case that your report may contain 10 pages where users want only first 3 pages for some users, 7 pages for some other users, 5 pages for some other users. How to implement a security there? For that also you can Google it. Exactly however we implemented a dynamic RLS, we are going to implement this one also. In the table, what we are going to maintain is each employee email ID along with a page name we are going to add. That's it. Email ID and a page. So you just Google it, you will get that one. This is all about RLS. There is nothing more to discuss on this area. You just need to repeat this practice, and you just need to implement and understand this one. That's all about a RLS security implementation. Till here, anyone has any questions? So if you don't have any questions, I'm stopping here.